Yo, what's up everybody? Just going to make a quick one on recycling our root balls. This will be the second attempt at doing this. I forgot to turn the volume on, or the microphone on. Now we're dealing with wind, so hopefully you can hear me. I try and reuse the recycle my root balls pretty much because there ain't really no reason why you can't if you're amending every year, which I do. So what I've done is filled these two pots here to where I'm going to plant. And the way I did that is by this. Start with the crumbled up root ball for the most part. That's what was in there. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom part of the white rhino root ball. So this is a chunk of the root ball from last year's white rhino. You can see all the roots. Or no, that was the power plant actually. You can see the big root chunks. You know, those are already decomposing. Basically, you just chunk them up, crunch them up as loosely as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. The remnants of the roots are going to rot out, and that's going to leave space for new roots to go into here in the near future. Won't be long and the new roots will be taken over. You can see there's plenty of room inside here for other roots. It's not all root. It wasn't completely root bound. We're going to do that about halfway. And then what I've been doing this year, and what I did on those other two pots, is I'll take the grass clipping layer of mulch that I had on the root balls, which if you look at the prior videos, you'll see I have a top dress system with grass clippings and other amendments that these little baby fine roots like to come up into, and I'm using that now for an intermediate barrier. We're going to kind of crunch it up here a little bit and stir it in a little bit as it into the top. And then, to save money and whatever, I bought some cheap, discounted in the fall potting soil. That we're going to put in the top like 4 inches. And then we're going to address that with some amendments that I have here. And we're going to turn that in here a little bit. And that's when we're going to plant our seedling in when we start our next. These two here have been sitting out and baking, I guess, for a couple of days now. It's probably just right for sticking in our seedlings. So, right now, to finish this off, I've got my dry amendments here. One, I have them out because we're just going to toss a little bit in each, a little bit of each of these in the top of here as a top dressing, and those will break down over the next. This is blood meal, about half a tablespoon of that. This will break down over the next couple of weeks while the plants are getting used to being in this environment now, because they've been inside in smaller plants or in smaller pots. This is blood meal or bone meal, and it had a hole in it. while this breaks down, then it'll be living off the nutrients in that bag soil there. About a half tablespoon of this too. And then it'll go right into eating this stuff. Work its way down into the amendments that we've got in the pots in the bottom half while it's expanding its root system. And then, once that pot's filled with roots, as we're top dressing now in the future, top dressing with grass clippings in for mulch, the roots will actually grow up into that, and you'll be feeding with a top dress. It works amazing. We already got the blood meal. We got that. Two things. Homemade biochar. Okay. That's my homemade stuff I made over the winter. We're going to take 2 small little pinches or handfuls, palmfuls, and spread that around. And then worm casting, same thing. Just a little palmful. Not trying to get too much in there. Then we're going to stir this in. And we're going to let that bake until we're ready to put our next plant in. Which that's going to be an auto in this one. We're going to see how an auto works in that. And then we're going to compare it to an auto in that regular potting soil. For a start, you know. Boom, we're going to watch them both grow. Exactly the same from this point. And see what happens. See if amending an old root ball works adequately enough to a generic potting soil. We'll find out. As long as everything goes well, I'm starting 2 plants. They are both stems. Well, these ones won't be. Yes, they will, actually. They're autos, so they'll be femmes. So we'll talk that in the future. But that's the plan, to do that side by side. And then do another set a week later. These are our feminized, local plants. One is topped, one is not. This one's about a week and a half behind this one. We've got Vegas Greasy Grape from Minnesota. I'll have to try. This is an OG Kush, but I can't remember. I didn't think about it when I was coming out here to grab the name. But you get it at the Forest Lake. There's a grow shop in Forest Lake right now. Right in the middle of, right across from Dairy Queen. Anyways, we've got our hole. I'm going to take a pinch of the worm casting, maybe 2 pinches. That's going to give us the microorganism inoculation, basically, of the roots that we're going to be putting in this hole. Now, if I know anything about what I've seen so far, we've got a pretty good looking root system in here. If I can get it out. There we go. Boom. You can see those pots filled out, and the roots came right through those pots. And because the pots weren't as big as the cup, I put dirt in the bottom of this cup, or soil, and you can see how well I took to that soil. Alright? Whoa, step in my damn biochar. My biochar may be a little hot, otherwise I would put that in this hole too, but we're just going to mix it in the top. And the Vegas Greasy Grape, you can get that at Vega Genetics online, if they still have them. Tuck that in nice. Alright, and then the next one will be, oh, so this is Vegas Greasy Grape. That's the OG Kush that I'll get you the name for in the future. But, like I said, cross from Dairy Queen, cross 61. There's a little strip mall with Mike's Discount Foods. It's right next to there, I believe. It's like $60, something like that, for some beans. There you go, more roots. Beautiful roots. I like that system a lot. She's down. All right. Now, earlier I brought out a cage. There it is. I'm going to wash my hands and then I'll show you what we've got planted so far and what I've done out here. And then we'll go up and get this uploaded hopefully soon. All right. Let's see. Put this stuff back. Handy tip. Depending on where you grow is, always have one of these buckets with a lid. Or a couple of them. And then don't forget your worm castings. Now I'm in the process of making my own worm castings now too. So along with the biochar, that'll work good together. And then the homemade fermented plant juices and compost teas with minimally sourced other nutrients and stuff, amendments. Here's a root ball. That was from the small power plant, which, you know, is 5 feet tall anyways. There's the give a look at that once here. We still got 5 inches or so of root ball, so after I cut off 4 feet of these, or 3 feet of these, you know, it was 9 feet tall, and then super wide. I mean, these branches also had 3 feet cut off of them. Here's the white rhino. Look at them suckers. Alright, so the plan is this year, is we're topping it here instead of up here, okay? This is only my second year with my invention that made them this big, really. What it did is stretch my branches out. These are all curled up now, they were freaking almost straight out. So this is the second year. Had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have let them get up to here before I topped them. I would have topped them down at one of these nodes and stretched them out. So that's what we're doing this year. Taking what I learned out of growing 2 fucking 14-foot wide plants that were 9 feet tall, and I'm taking that other like 6 feet, say, the extra 6 feet up, I'm going to go this way with it. In that pot right over here. Okay, see all this area I got cleaned out around here? That was how much area I needed last year just to get around that white rhino that was here. Okay? So that tells you how god dang big that thing was. I couldn't get through here because there was just too much plant, right? That's around 30-gallon pot, I think. The other one, the power plant, which was bigger round, and was a big round ball, was in this, I don't know, 7 to, I don't think it's quite 10 gallons. Maybe it's a 10-gallon one, you know? 10-gallon pot, let's say. Them sticks sticking out of the ground there were engulfed. You could not see those at all. And you couldn't get past here because there was branches. You know, I had to feed down here, so I crawled under. Right here is where I took that picture of me with the branches laying down on the ground. Alright, so egg is greasy, great, not topped. Going to be topped soon. OG Kush from the Forest Lake Grow Shop. Cream cheese from Andrew. And bag seed from either the power plant or the white rhino from last year. I don't know. Hopefully it's a female. If it's not, I got one ready to back it up. But you can see we're spreading it out. And it's growing like a banshee. We're going to actually give this a twist because I want branches going in 6 different directions. I thought about it now, I would have had it go 8, but we're not going to need all them extra branches, so they're going to be weaved together. This is a free tip here. All you got to do is push down on those once or twice and you'll get to stretch out a bit. After that, you tie them down, trellis them, let them go, whatever. Or in the future, you're going to have the option to buy one of Chad's real trainers. Because I know it really works. And it really don't take much time or effort like it does. And it doesn't stress out. It does not stress out your plants like some of them other high stress and low stress, training things go. Unless you go too far and tear something off. If you look down in the bottom there, I was collecting some of the world's finest and all natural grow dots, time release for fertilizer. That mountain there is going to be synthetic and organic, everything I can throw at it to grow it big. See what happens, see what the final result is. This one here is going to be organic. This is the pile is from the root ball from the plant that drowned on me last year. So I'm starting out with that as a base, amending it, throwing on root ball stuff, throwing on all kinds of different crap, biochar, all that stuff, the rabbit shit, and then we're going to use our compost teas and our fermented plant juices on those, on everything pretty much. Anything that we're going to spray everything with the compost teas. It's a good preventative measure for a lot of things. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. We'll show you the spot here a little bit. So that's my nutrient pile and seat cushion and blah blah. That's your power plant pile. So this is where I'm usually going to be coming in. So I'll be coming in and saying, "Hi, ladies, you look beautiful today," because I greet them every morning with that statement, tell them how beautiful they look. Ask them how they're doing, and this will be one here. Boom, it's going to be a nice giant plant because that's a good spot. This is going to be a fantastic spot here for one of these two fine ladies. Then we're going to have that fine lady there, which will be the first year that anything's growing in there during the summer. I did flower 2 clones there, and they did well. And then boom, that's going to be the, I don't know what yet, but I'll be able to figure out by the way they grow and how they smell and everything which one it came from. So we'll know that later on this year. Alright. Oh, so and then you can see it's pretty wet. So this is a cattail marsh out here. Back in the 50s, they dug out ponds. The island here that I'm on is the remnants from the diggings from those ponds. And then this here, I built where I'm standing out of trees, pretty much. Here's a log here that's going to extend off into that stuff there. But this is an artificial man-made area here for me to be able to get to my well. Which, last year we didn't have any water problems. The 2 years before, I had to dig 9 feet down there. So it steps down. You can see kind of where I dug out there. Okay. Step down to here. And then step down to there to dig that out and lift over my head 3 feet to throw dirt up to this landing to build and cover up all this area here. All the dirt that covered up all the wood was dug from that small hole. Well, it's not so small because, like I said, it steps down there, but that was fun. It was neat being that far down in peat. I can't tell you how crazy it was. I felt like it was going to cave in, but it was absolutely solid. Now, it could have just slumped in, I guess, at any point, but I didn't feel like I was in any danger. So it was very neat. I didn't hit anything down there solid. It was still peat, and when I stopped at 9 feet, because I just couldn't physically get the friggin' dirt out any further, all I had was wet mud to water my plants with, and I only ended up with like 1 plant at the end of the season because I didn't have the water out here to do this. I'm a considerable ways away from any water source other than this. But I wouldn't trade this water source for this for anything. It's perfect. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you have a fantastic year. This is the launch to something amazing, which, you know, we're going to have to really do some shit, man, to beat those 2 right there. But, yeah, it's on. It's on full time. And then I use grass clippings. This is, so equivalent to, probably 6 acres or so of grass clippings, because we mow 3 acres, and I swept up every bit of those 3 acres twice, and brought the clippings out here for this. So watch for that. Save your clippings. There's a special technique for it, really. I mean, if you don't want a bunch of moldy clippings around, you can see I don't have any mold growing on this stuff. Yeah, before too long it will be, but we'll have more over top of it. So, thanks everybody for watching. If you're 35 or older, good Lord, get a colonoscopy. It'll save you a hell of a lot of trouble because they'll catch you early at that point. If you wait too long, it's a goddamn misery. Glad to be alive, glad to be here. Enjoy every freaking day. But you don't need to freaking do and have to deal with what I have to deal with. So, get a freaking colonoscopy. It's not a bad idea. Peace. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want. And then keep coming back.